Welcome back. All right, 5 games tonight in the National Hockey League. We'll also discuss the standings after we go through these 5 games. Little bit of Christmas is starting to show up. I was just messing around with this and just seeing, do those chains work on a Christmas tree? They can. So I just wanted to see if my tiny little 3-foot tree could hold up one of those chains. Yeah, so I'm going to play around with it. I've got a bunch of those neck chains. We'll see what I end up doing with the set. All right, we'll start things off talking about Columbus and New Jersey, a game which took a wild swing in terms of momentum. Merzlikins versus Allen. There's an early power play for the Devils. Near miss for Bratt. The Devils then draw a power play, and they score on it. 1:26 in as well. It's Bratt. It's a net feed that goes off Provorov's stick into the net. Hischier and Mercer with the assists. So 1-0 New Jersey very early. And then at 3:03 on a turnover, Palat buries one in close on his second goal of the season to make it 2-0. The assist to Gritsuk and Nemitz. So New Jersey with a 2-0 lead, and we're barely past 3 minutes into the game. Mercer then has a net drive. That's denied. Fantilli has a wrister. That's caught and held. Columbus would draw a power play, and they score on it. At 9:54, it's Matejchuk burying a cross-ice pass. Coyle and Provorov with the assists. So now it's 2-1 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. Myers denied as the Devils look to answer. New Jersey draws a power play. There's back-to-back shorthanded rushes by the Blue Jackets. They end up killing that off. The Devils score. There's a goalie interference challenge where Elvis was beside himself. He was absolutely livid. And yeah, the challenge succeeded. Then there's a press by the Devils with a minute and a half left. With 32.4 seconds left, Columbus goes to the power play. So that runs to the end of the first period with the score still 2-1 for New Jersey. Second period, things get pushy on a hold by Allen. Voronkov had a bit of a fight with Dillon. Dillon gets hurt. He exits. He came back, and then I think he exited again. Then we have 27 seconds of 4-on-4 out of that. And during that 4-on-4, Monahan goes 5-hole on a rush. Sillinger and Werenski with the assists. That's at 1:28 to tie the game at 2. Everything gets killed off from there. Fantilli had a fight with Siegenthaler. Columbus comes out of that with a power play. Things are pushy and punchy on a lot of whistles. We get 57 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. Sillinger fans on one as Columbus has some pressure. Voronkov has a fight with Nason. Smith had a fight with Cotter. Like, it was all over. This was just insane. The shots are 7-5 for the Devils with 9.5 minutes left. Glass has an attempt that's held. Things get pushy. This is right around where Dillon ends up coming back in. But I know New Jersey was down to 4 defensemen by the end of the game. Pressed by New Jersey with 7 minutes left. Severson has a one-timer that's held as Columbus gets some pressure. He sure has a slot chance that deflects wide. Monahan has a bit of a battle with Glass. Not to the level of a fight. It's 2 minutes of 4-on-4 coming out of that. But it's 2-2 after 2, and just absolutely insane how many punches are thrown in this one. So third period, things actually quiet down. The only shot on net belonged to New Jersey at 3.5 minutes. Gritsuk has a rush that's defended. And then at 6:40, Coyle deposits a rebound 5-hole. Werenski and Wood with the assists. Columbus presses for another, and they get it at 7:13. Monahan buries one on a pass from behind the net. Lundestrom was the one that passed it from behind the net. And suddenly Columbus has a 4-2 lead. Blue Jackets press for another. Shots are 5-2 for Columbus with 9.5 minutes left. The Devils would draw a power play, and they score on it. Meyer buries one on a cross-ice pass at 11:50. Bratt and Hischier with the assists. And then Jake Allen, just when New Jersey had a lot of momentum, Allen comes out, turns the puck over. Coyle gets it to Wood. Wood buries it at 13:29, makes the score 5-3 in favor of Columbus. The goalie pull happens with 4.5 minutes left. There wasn't really much Columbus gave New Jersey from there. Like, they had a long time with the 6-on-5. Columbus just didn't give them much, and they end up winning this one 5-3. So shots on net favored New Jersey the whole way. 10-7 in the first, 14-11 in the second, 9-6 in the third. Final shots 33-24 for the Devils. Power plays, Columbus 1 for 3, New Jersey 2 for 5. The hits 23-21 New Jersey. Merzlikins 30 saves on 33 shots. Recovered after allowing a couple early ones. And Jake Allen, ugly stat line by the end of the night, 19 saves on 24 shots. All right, next up, Pittsburgh and Philly, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Jari versus Vladar. McGroarty fires one wide on a rush. 3.5 minutes in, the shots are 3-0 in favor of the Flyers. Carlson has a one-timer that's held as the Penguins get some pressure. Malkin fires one wide on a rush. There's more pressure by the Penguins 5 minutes into the period. We get a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. One shot on net. And then at 9:18, Crosby buries a rebound off a rush. Rust and Mantha with the assists, so 1-0 in favor of the Penguins. Zegras is denied and close on a rush. The shots are 8 apiece with 6 minutes left. The Flyers press with 2.5 minutes left. However, it's 1-0 Pittsburgh after 1. Second period, early jump for the Penguins. The teams trade rushes and turnovers. There's a post for Konechny on a fast break. The Flyers draw a power play. That becomes 1 minute and 17 seconds of 5-on-3. That's too much. So they score during the 5-on-3. Forrester, it's a net feed that's deflected in. Konechny and Zegras with the assists at 5:36. And then another 5-on-3 follows. However, that is killed off by Pittsburgh. We then get a power play for the Penguins, and they score on it. And it's Crosby with the second goal of the game. He roofs it from the slot. Rust and Carlson with the assists. That's at 8:08. Pittsburgh has their lead back. It is now 2-1. Penguins press for another. Shots are 6-5 Flyers with 5.5 minutes left. The Penguins go back to the power play. They score on this one as well. Rust goes glove side from the left circle at 15:51. Malkin and Carlson with the assists. So Erik Karlsson with a couple of helpers. And Pittsburgh has themselves a 3-1 lead and have quieted down the Philadelphia crowd at that point. 2:48 left. The Flyers get a power play. That becomes 42 seconds of 4-on-4. And then things are pushy at the horn because it's Battle of Pennsylvania. They don't like each other. So to start the third period, the Flyers do finish killing the penalty the power play that Pittsburgh had starting that third period. There's a press by Pittsburgh after it's done. Imam is denied on a net drive. The Penguins score. There's a goalie interference challenge, and yep, no goal. So while Phil Bourque kept talking about how, well, this is going to be a goal, and Rick Tocchet's got maybe a 50% chance, watching it, I was like, that's goalie interference. It is. So, yeah, it comes back, no goal. Pittsburgh presses to get it back. There's a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. Shots are 5-4 for the Penguins at 5.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Jarry. McGroarty's denied and close as the Penguins get some pressure. Penguins would draw a power play, and they score on it at 13:52. Novak with a wrister glove side from the slot. Letang and Malkin with the assists, making it 4-1. And then at 15:33, it's Hayes going backhand on a breakaway to make it 5-1. Wotherspoon with the nice pass to him on that one. With 9 seconds left, the Flyers get a power play. Obviously, they don't score on it. Your final score in this one's 5-1 for Pittsburgh. Just an authoritative victory by the Penguins here. Shots on net, 8-7 Philly in the first, 9-6 Pittsburgh in the second, 15-11 Flyers in the third. Final shots are 29-27 for Philadelphia. Power plays, Pittsburgh 3 for 4, Philadelphia 1 for 6. The hits, 27-18 for Philadelphia. Tristan Jarry, 28 saves on 29 shots. Vladar saved 22 out of 27. Rough stat line for Vladar tonight. All right, next up, the Winnipeg Jets and the Buffalo Sabres. Bit of a surprise, this one. Comrie versus Luukkonen. Thompson has a rush chance that's held. However, Buffalo comes out of that with a power play, and then they score on that. At 2:46, Zucker buries a loose puck in the crease. Doan and Norris with the assists. So Josh Norris in the lineup tonight, and he's productive. It's 1-0 Buffalo. Then at 3:01, 15 seconds later, Byram with a wrister on a 3-on-1 rush, and it was only the third shot on net as well. Byram scores from Quinn and Timmins. The shots on net were 4 apiece at 4.5 minutes. There's a press by the Jets at 5.5 minutes. Taves gets denied from the doorstep. The rebound gets cleared. The Jets draw a power play, so Buffalo kills that off. Sabres press with 8.5 minutes left. There's a near miss for Krebs on a rebound. And then at 14:54, Norris puts one in off Sandberg on a net drive to make it 3-0 for Buffalo. Buffalo, 3-0. The assist to Thompson and Benson. And it stays 3-0 after one. This is a game Winnipeg needs. These teams are going to see each other later on this week. So second period, there's a press by Buffalo at 1.5. The teams trade rushes and turnovers shortly thereafter. 4.5 minutes in, Buffalo has recorded the only shot on net of the period. When the Jets press, the Sabres block the net. They block the path to the net. They do a very good job out there. This is the thing with the Sabres. Some nights they look fantastic. Other nights they don't. It's just, this is how the Sabres are this year. Zucker has a rush chance that's blocked. Nyquist is denied on a rebound. Sabres rush after that. Taves couldn't bury one in close. Puck's cleared out. So Taves had opportunities around the net tonight. Just could not get that puck to go in for him. Sabres press at 8 minutes. Shots are 4-3 Buffalo at the half. Doan fires one wide on a net drive. Barron then has a rush chance. That's saved. And then at 11:26, it's a point shot tipped 5-hole by Kyle Connor. Scheifele and DeMello with the assists. So Winnipeg's on the board. It's 3-1 now for Buffalo. Sabres look to respond, and they do. At 12:49, Tuck banks one in off Milic, who would come in to replace Comrie at that point. And the assist on that one to Josh Doan. So all of a sudden, Buffalo has their 3-goal lead back at 4-1. Dahlin has a one-timer that's saved as the Sabres press. There's a press by Winnipeg in the final minute, but it's 4-1 Buffalo after 2 periods of play. And early in the third, it doesn't get better if you're a Jets fan. 41 seconds in, Josh Norris gets his 2nd goal of the game and his 3rd point. Benson and Dahlin with the assists. 5-1 lead for the Buffalo Sabres. The Jets press at 2.5 minutes. Things get punchy after a hit by Stanley on Benson, and as a result of that hit, the Jets go to the penalty kill. Short-handed rush by Connor ends up being saved. The Jets do kill off that penalty. Shots are 4-2 Winnipeg at 6.5 minutes. Norris has a rush chance that's defended as he's looking for the hat trick. We get a power play for Winnipeg. That's killed off. 2 shots on net there. McLeod has a net drive that's gloved aside. There's a press by Buffalo with 8 minutes left. Everything gets punchy with 5:59 left. The Jets come out of that with a power play. That's killed off. Puck's cleared out after. Sabres with some pressure in the final minute. No tension for Buffalo in this one. A 5-1 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. So tonight's power rankings got updated a little bit. Winnipeg's been adjusted down. Shots on net, 14-8 Buffalo in the first, 7-6 Buffalo in the second. Both teams had 10 shots in the third. Final shots, 31-24 for the Sabres. Power plays, 0-2 for Winnipeg, 1-3 for Buffalo. The hits, 35-12 for Winnipeg. Comrie saved 11 out of 14 in the first period. Milic saved 15 out of 17 the rest of the way. And Luukkonen 23 saves on 24 shots. Maybe Winnipeg would take Laurent Brossoit back. I don't know, but Winnipeg's got to figure something out because once we get to the standings, you'll see why. I think there's reason that they'll be panicked when we get to the Wednesday Panic Index. Let's go to board number 2. All right, Anaheim and St. Louis. Husso, the former St. Louis Blues goaltender, against Binnington. Early jump for the Blues. The Ducks draw a power play. That's killed off. 5 minutes in, the shots are 2-1 for St. Louis. This was the game that had very few opportunities for large stretches here tonight. Minchikov has a wrist to this glove aside, and then at 6:33, McTavish puts one in off Fowler's stick to make it 1-0 for Anaheim. The assist to Seneca. Then 20 seconds later, St. Louis answers. Kyrou buries a net feed in close. Thomas and Neighbors with the assist. So at 6:53, we've got ourselves a 1-1 tie. The Blues draw a power play. That's killed off. 2 shots on net. It stays 1-1 until 10:24. Minchikov buries one on a rush soon after the power play's done. Moore with the assist. And that ends the night for Binnington. I guess that goal was one that just Jim Montgomery couldn't live with. And it was not a great shot by Minchikov. It wasn't. I will agree that it didn't look like Binnington had it early, and you might as well make the change in net then. Anaheim presses with 8.5 minutes left. Shots are 9-5 Anaheim with 7.5 minutes left. Blues with some pressure with 2.5 minutes left, but they're kept to the outside. They had a lot of time in Anaheim's zone. Not a lot at the net. That's why I don't really pay attention to offensive zone time very much when I talk about hockey, because a lot of the time a team might have that time in the offensive zone, but how many shots did they generate? How many high danger chances? So with 37 seconds left, the Blues go to the power play. It's 2-1 Anaheim after 1, but the Blues have that power play rolling into the second period where the Ducks do finish the kill. The Blues go back to the power play. That lasts 18 seconds before it becomes 1 minute and 42 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off there. Shots are 3-1 Anaheim at 6.5 minutes. The Ducks go back to the power play, so the Blues kill it off. Dvorsky fires one wide via a 2-on-1 rush. We get a press by St. Louis with 8 minutes left. The Blues draw a power play. That is killed off as well. The Ducks are blocking the path to the net. There's a press by Anaheim with 2.5 minutes left. Thomas to Neighbors. There's a near miss. Again, lots of zone time, and yet St. Louis only had 4 shots in that second period. Third period, early jump for Anaheim. There's a press by the Blues at 3 minutes. Kyrou gets denied from the doorstep. Thomas has a rush chance. That's saved. The Ducks press at 5.5 minutes, and eventually they score at 5:58. It's Carlson tipping in a point shot. Gudas and Minchikov with the assists. You know what's interesting? Minchikov, since it came out that he wasn't all that happy with how he's being utilized in Anaheim, he's backed it up by producing. I will say Minchikov's backed it up by producing and playing really well. The Blues press for a response. We get a power play for St. Louis. Not only is it killed off, it generates no shots during that 2 minutes. Walker to Joseph, near miss at the Anaheim net. The Blues go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. There's a press by St. Louis with 6 minutes left. The Ducks are just racking up the shot blocks. There were more shot blocks by Anaheim than shots by St. Louis in this game. Goalie pull happens with 3:45 left, and at 17:23, Kreider hits the empty net. Leo Carlsson with the assist, so Anaheim wins this one 4-1 in St. Louis. Final shots 10-9. Well, the shots in this one, 10-9 Anaheim in the first, 10-4 Anaheim in the second, 9-6 St. Louis in the third. Now, final shots 26-22 in favor of the Ducks. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 3, St. Louis 0 for 6. The hits 17-15 for Anaheim. Husso saves 21 out of 22. Binnington saved 3 out of 5, and then Hofer saved 19 out of 20 in relief. So, bit of a goaltending controversy, I guess, in St. Louis. We'll see how this goes from here, but this is why when people are like, oh, do you think St. Louis would try trading Binnington? I don't know. Binnington hasn't played necessarily that well this season, so it's interesting. Interesting to see what's going on with the St. Louis Blues. And last but not least, Utah and San Jose. The winner of this game would end up above the playoff line tonight. Vejmelka versus Askarov, and that was just guaranteed. Whoever won this game was above the playoff line. Early press by the Mammoth. Smith has a slot shot that's saved as the Sharks press, and at 4:41 on a turnover, Toffoli puts one in from the slot to make it 1-0 San Jose. The assists, of course, to Smith and Celebrini, who have this incredible chemistry together and should scare everybody in the NHL. The Sharks then draw a power play, and they score on it at 7:58. In his first game playing with the San Jose Sharks, Regenda. It's a one-timer that's deflected in by Regenda, Kurashev, and Orlov with the assists. So we have ourselves a 2-0 lead for San Jose, and we're not 8 minutes in yet. The Sharks press for another, but at 9:06 on a rush, it's a cross-crease pass and in for Kraus. Carconi making that cross-crease pass there, cutting the lead to 2-1 for the Sharks. Cooley's then denied on a rush. It was nice to see Logan Cooley out there and playing well. Shots are 9-8 for the Mammoth with 8 minutes left, and at 12:59, it's a face-off win, and it's in. Toffoli with his second of the period, Celebrini with his second assist of the period. It's a 3-1 lead in favor of the San Jose Sharks. The Mammoth press with 4.5 minutes left, and at 16 minutes, Peterka roofs one short side from the left circle. The assist to Nate Schmidt, so Utah not letting them get away and cut the lead down to 3-2. With 3:23 left, Utah gets power play. That's killed off. It stays 3-2 in favor of the Sharks after the first period. Second period, the Mammoth press early again. We then get a power play for Utah. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Dellandrea. That power play ends up being killed off. Things get pushed in a hole by Askarov. The shots are 6-2 for Utah at 5.5 minutes. However, at 6:16, San Jose adds a goal. Smith puts one past the screen from the slot. Celebrini and Toffoli with the assists. Then at 7:25, it's a backhand top shelf on a turnover by Adam Gaudette. The assist to Eklund. And then at 9:09, they add another. This time it's Smith going glove side from the slot on a rush. Toffoli with the assist. So Will Smith really wowing everybody. And that's the thing. Celebrini's fantastic. Will Smith's pretty good too. And the San Jose Sharks with a 6-2 lead at that point. And that's where I said, all right, so I'm done with notes because 6-2. Sharks draw a power play. That's killed off. San Jose goes back to the power play, so Utah kills that off as well. It's 6-2 after 2. Third period, early press by San Jose, but not a lot of shots. The shots are only one apiece at 4 minutes. Dickinson to Reeves, near miss at the net. I will agree with the announcers. Dickinson should have shot that puck. Power play for the Sharks. There's a crossbar and out for Celebrini during that. And then at 6.5 minutes, Kraus tips one in via a 2-on-1 rush, shorthanded. The assist to Sergachev, and then more importantly, the Mammoth would finish killing off that penalty. With 6:37 left, Utah gets a power play. That's killed off. Keller has a rush chance later in the period. That's blocked out. There just wasn't enough time, and San Jose wasn't giving enough chances. A 6-3 win for the San Jose Sharks. Huge win for them. Your shots on net, 13-12 San Jose in the first, 17-15 Utah in the second, and then 5-3 Utah in the third. So just they turned that tap right off. Final shots 34-31 for Utah. Power plays Utah 0 for 3. San Jose 1 for 4. The hits 18-15 for San Jose. Vejmelka 6 saves on 9 shots before being replaced by Vanacek, who saved 19 out of 22. Utah's definitely in trouble. They have really slid. I mentioned in the video last night about the difference between October and November. December didn't get off to a great start. And Askarov saved 31 out of 34. All right, let us take a look at what this did to the standings. All right, so no change in 1 through 3 in the Central. The top team in the Pacific remains Anaheim, but they do pull 2 points ahead of both LA and Vegas, who have a game in hand, of course. 16-9-1 record now for Anaheim, 33 points in 26 games. Look who the number 1 wild card is. It's the Sharks. 13-11-3 record, 29 points in 27 games. It means if the playoffs started today, you'd have Anaheim and San Jose in the first round. Seattle drops to the number 2 wild card, drops Chicago down below the playoff line, and Utah below the playoff line as well. Now 12-12-3, 27 points in 27 games. The Jets, huge loss for them tonight. They're 13-12, 26 points in 25 games. St. Louis with the regulation loss, now 25 points in 27 games. They lose out on an opportunity to get within 1 point of a playoff spot. In the East, no change in the top 3 in the Atlantic, but a bit of a change in the Metro in that the New Jersey Devils now have... Carolina has a game in hand on New Jersey. New Jersey loses tonight. They're 16-9-1, 33 points in 26 games. Pittsburgh's now the number 1 wild card again. 13-7-5 record, 31 points in 25 games. Philadelphia 14-8-3, 31 points in 25 games. They're the number 2 wild card in the East. Columbus moves up a bit. They're 12-9-5, 29 points in 26 games, which drops down Ottawa, Detroit, and the Rangers. Buffalo jumps past 2 teams, including the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. 11-11-4 record, 26 points in 26 games. Just imagine if I had said before the season started, on December 1st, Buffalo's going to be ahead of Florida. Buffalo fans would have been excited. They would have been like, that's great. It's a little less exciting right now than it would have felt at the time. But either way, Buffalo passes Florida, and Toronto drops back to last in the East once again. So we'll see what happens with the standings tomorrow night, because there's 10 games tomorrow, so a lot of chance for movement. But for tonight, San Jose is above the playoff line in December. That hasn't happened in a long time. So kudos to San Jose for getting there, and we'll see whether or not they can stay there for any period of time, or if they'll be right back out of it tomorrow night. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.